early, even with the rain. Okay, so of course, as we always do, we're going to be starting today by looking at some of the fundamental news that are coming out today. We might also make reference to those that came out yesterday and how it affected the market, and also the projections of some of those news today. All right, so we're going to be looking at an overview of how the market is behaving and the possible new trend or new direction of the market for today. All right, so let's join going together. All right, so let me just open my Forex Factory. And trust me, some of the instruments we're going to be looking at today are mostly going to be some of those instruments that would make you some really good amount of money. Yeah, I should be able to make you some good amount of money. All right, so let's okay, so I believe you can see my screen. You can see my screen. I'm starting today with Forex Factory. Mr. Jacob, good morning. Welcome to today's meeting. Okay, so just a little bit of a setup. Okay, perfect. All right. Now we're going to be looking at the news, the fundamental news that are coming out today. Of course, today is Thursday. And if you take a brief look at what actually happened on Wednesday, yeah, that's yesterday, there were no major news apart from two high impact news that actually came out from GBP. Now, the settings of my Forex Factory is to only show me high impact news, medium impact news, and no impact news. I actually removed the low impact news. Right, I removed the low, that is LOW. All right, but apart from the low, I have the no, that is NO, no impact news at all, no impact news. Then which is this one that has the white envelope. Then I have medium impact news, which is this one that has brown envelope. And then of course I have the high impact news, which is the one that has red envelope. So those are the ones I have active. All right. And looking at yesterday, there was no medium impact news and there was no impact news. But we only had two high impact news, which are actually some of the two news that came out. One from AUD, that's Australian economy, and of course the other one from GBP, from the Great British economy. All right, and of course those two major news actually exerted a lot of impact on the market. If you go through it, you will see the market reaction on those instruments. All right, but then looking at today, which is Thursday, we had of course some couple of news already out that came out from the AUD economy, which is the first one. It's the employment change. All right, and then of course the unemployment rates. Those news are already out. All right, and they've already done some good in the market. And going forward, we have CHF. There's going to be bank holiday. Why did I include the bank holiday, the no impact news, even though most likely not going to affect the market? But why did I include it? Is to see some of the instruments that probably will be having low volatility. You know, one thing about bank holiday is that bank is the major driver of liquidity. All right, they are the major drivers of volatility. So with that in mind, it's just like when you have the person that actually sponsors an event being absent in that event, you will discover that it might not really be so much volatile in that regard. So with that, I would know, okay, let me trade the opposite of that particular instrument. So that is why I included it. Then, of course, the Eurozone also today, there is bank holiday in the Eurozone. Yes, bank holiday in the Eurozone. And of course, and this is all day. All right. And going to GBP, there is a monetary policy report hearing. It's a medium impact news, but I suspect this particular news is going to be volatile, especially when you're using a smaller time frame like 15 minutes or 5 minutes. It's going to be really volatile in those time frames. And of course, the US region, we have the unemployment claim. Now, this particular unemployment claim recently has actually been coming out on weekly basis. It is a weekly news report. It is a weekly news report, unemployment claim, and it's coming out also by 1:30 p.m. Now, this particular news is going to be measuring the number of persons that got employed within the last week to now, between last week on Wednesday till now. All right, the number of persons that have gotten employed, and of course, also the number of persons that are still not employed. Now, how is it measured? The number of persons that applied for this particular unemployment benefit. This unemployment claim is otherwise called unemployment benefit. It is what the United States gives to their citizens, those that are not employed, unemployed citizens, to help them, of course, live their life. Of course, we don't have such in our beloved country, but we hope we get to that level one day. All right. I did not hear a big amen. All right. All right. So we have Philip Fed Manufacturing Index. Also, this one actually measures the manufacturing diffusion. That is the rate of circulation. Thank you for supporting me. All right. So the rate of diffusion in the economy. How many of those manufactured goods got diffused, like got circulated? That is what that particular news is talking about, and it's quite volatile. And of course, we also have the existing home sales. Existing home sales. These are the number of new homes that were sold within the past month. Do you understand? Existing home sales. Then we also have from the Canadian economy, the Bank of Canadian governor speaks. All right. The governor of Bank of Canada is going to be having his speech also today by 4 p.m. So today actually promises to be a volatile day. Now, having known some of the major news that are coming out today and the time they are coming out and the area they are affecting, you should know that most of the news that are actually coming out today are actually going to be volatile news, especially from this particular point, the unemployment claim down to 4 p.m. So from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. is going to be a milking time for us. All right. So we're going to run it together. All right. Now, the rest of the news will be coming out tomorrow. So the person that's going to be taking tomorrow's MMR with you is going to be reviewing the rest of the news and also tell you how it's going to be affecting the market. So for today, we're going to be doing our projections using what we've got right here, the ones that we've reviewed. So let's go to our chart and see how we're going to be taking advantage of this news. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be reviewing some selected instruments with you, and I hope, in hope that we're actually going to make some really good money from it. Okay. We're going to be taking a look at UK 100. I know some of you don't actually trade it, but then that is because you've not really seen the possibility of this particular instrument going to this particular instrument. You've not seen the possibility of you making some really good amount of money from it. So we're going to be starting the review, every single thing together, and we're going to be looking at how it has actually been moving and how you can take advantage of this particular instrument and the direction you'll be trading today. All right, this is UK 100. And of course, we've already known that Bank of England is actually having today, of course, is a public holiday for the English region. That is the Eurozone. All right. Today is public holiday for the Eurozone. And sorry, somebody's video is on. I've been trying to turn it off and it keeps on it. Can you turn off your video if your video is on? Because it's obstructing the screen right here. All right. Please, when you come in, kindly turn off your video. It will really help. Okay. Kindly turn off your video if your video is on. All right. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, this particular instrument, I am looking at it. It's been having currently the reversal has set in, but of course the reversal has not really been fully concluded. And I'm looking at, because today is Bank of England's public holiday. Of course, there is a public holiday in the Eurozone. All right, so we're going to be looking at this particular instrument pushing up to this particular proven resistance, and then from here it's going to be making a further downward move. All right, remember I said that it's already on a downward trend. It has already been confirmed, but I would not advise you just enter any trade on it, because we've been having this kind of consolidation up here, and then you'll see the same thing happening till this point, and then you're seeing another one up until this point, and then this particular trend has not been completed. Do you see? This particular one wasn't completed. All right, this one wasn't completed, and it came and it's pushing back up. All right, so what do you think? That this market is likely going to be getting to that point, to the highest point at this level? All right, mostly going to be getting to this particular proven resistance again, but I'm not going to be getting my take profit on the proven resistance, but rather I'm just going to be putting my take profit from this region. All right, so I'm just going to be taking my profit at this region. So what am I going to be doing right now? Because the Bank of England is actually on public holiday, so I am going to be generally the currency strength of that particular current country might not really be as strong as it should, and in that regard, every other thing that relates to it most likely is going to gain strength. Do you understand? Every other thing relating to it most likely will gain strength. And in that note, I am going to be taking a buy. I'm going to be considering taking a buy on this particular instrument up onto the proven resistance. But I am not going to be allowing it to get to the proven resistance. All right, because we've had some consolidation processes around here. We've had lots of consolidation processes around here. All right, so I will not allow my trade to get to the proven resistance before ending the trade. So I am looking at the trade getting to this particular point, then I will sell from that region. If you don't want to enter a buy from where the market is, then set a sell limit from this point. But just make sure that once price gets to the top region, once price gets here, you are no longer, from this point, you are no longer buying. From this point, I expect you to start selling this particular instrument, the UK 100. I expect you to start selling UK 100 from this region. I expect you to start selling UK 100 from this region. Do you understand? And I already told you the fact that this particular instrument is going to be having, of course, a little bit of strength early hours of today. Then from there, when it gets to this point, there's likely going to be a reversal. Now, why am I saying that? Because there have actually been a massive consolidation around here. This is like an M shape that has been formed, but this one was not completed. This one was not completed. So we're expecting it to still come back and probably complete this particular direction and then before any other direction. So I am looking at a buy from here to this particular 7795.0. But when it can get to this point, I am going to be selling all the way down. And I told you that if you don't want to buy from here, then just go set up a sell limit from here. All right. You can just set up a sell limit from this region and then bring it all the way down. Do you understand? But I'm looking at a further buy to this point. So if you actually enter the buy right at the time I said that, you should have been on a very good profit already. But if you don't want to enter an instant buy, hold on for price to get to 7795.0, then enter a sell all the way down to complete this particular structure. If it is our Ghanaian friends, they will say structure. All right, to complete this structure right here. All right, so that should be that for UK 100. And I told you the fact that the Eurozone is actually having bank holiday. And because of that, the liquidity or the volatility from the euro might not really be as much as you should be expecting it. And from there, we are going to be looking at a further buy on the UK stock. Oh, pardon me. All right, we're going to be looking at a further buy on the UK stock. But when it gets to this point, we're going to be having a further sell back to this particular resistance. All right, if you're a long-term trader, I will advise don't jump into any sell or any trade until it has comfortably broken above or below this particular structure right here. All right, if it breaks below here, then go for a long sell all the way down. All right, to the next verified support. And if it goes above this particular proven resistance, then continue with the buy trend. But for today, for intraday traders like us, we're going to be buying to this particular region and then sell all the way down. All right, that is that for UK 100. And remember, there is no any high impact news coming out from that region to affect this market, apart from the fact that they are on bank holiday. Congratulations to anyone that actually took the trade all the while and should have been on reasonable profit. Then let's look at Euro NZD. Euro NZD. Of course, I already told you the fact that Eurozone is on bank holiday. All right, Eurozone is on bank holiday. So the liquidity from that, the volatility from that region might not be as high as it ought to. All right. Of course, for those of us that are, somebody just mentioned about DE30. DE30 is definitely going to be buying, just like the UK 100 is doing right now. The same thing is applied to DE30. For those of you that trade on DE30, the same thing is applied. But let's take a look at Euro NZD. For now, Euro NZD is just bouncing off on this particular support region. All right. Euro NZD is already bouncing off from this particular region. And with that, with the law of support and resistance, we are supposed to buy. With the law of support and resistance, we're supposed to buy. All right. And buying from where the market is till the next point. All right. So it means that using this law of support and resistance, you are ought to buy any region from here. All right. You ought to buy from this point going all the way up. Going all the way up. All right, so this point might just be a perfect region for you to buy. Why? Because you want to respect this particular support and resistance. But let's just take a look back to what is currently happening. Do you see that this particular trend is already on a downtrend from here all the way down to this point? Do you see? So it means that the probability of the market coming back to this particular verified support is higher. All right. Coming back to this particular verified support is higher, but this one, most likely, the market just want to, of course, respect this region. Does it mean NZD has been stronger than Euro? Absolutely not. Euro has actually been doing the most, okay? So, but this particular trend is looking more of a downtrend than an uptrend for me. It's looking more like a downtrend than an uptrend. So what I'm going to do is that this is going to be my no trade zone. Sorry, excuse me. All this point is going to be my no trade zone. All right, no trade zone for this point. So I am only going to be trading a breakout on this particular structure right here. All right. If the market, I am actually supporting a further sell on this instrument. All right. I am supporting a further sell in as much as there is a support right here. So it means that I'm actually expecting the market to either break the support, of course. It can only sell if it breaks below the support. So I will only advise to enter a sell when the price breaks comfortably below the support, maybe till price 1.72617. 1.72617. All right. Once price can get to that point, I am going to be entering a sell all the way down. And of course, all the way to this verified resistance. So every single region around here is my sell region. All right, so don't jump into a sell immediately. Allow price to comfortably go below this particular zone before you enter a sell. Okay, I think I should use a lighter. This is too dark, and some persons might not really be seeing those price. Oh, perfect. I think this is better. This is better. So this point is a no trade zone for me. Is a no for me. And I already told you the reason. So I am not going to buy from here. I'm not going to sell from here. So I can only buy if price also goes above this particular structure right here. If price can also go above this particular structure, then I am going to be buying. All right. So it means that it's either you just hold on for price to make a move. Now, let me say this. From this particular formation, you expect the price to actually push up. All right. You expect the price to actually push up from here, from where it is. But because of the trend that has already been established around here, I will not just want to rush into a sell. Do you understand? I will not just want to rush into a buy. I would expect the market to, because of course, one of the major reason also is because I already told you that Euro is already on bank holiday. So the volatility from their side might not be so much. So that's why I am not going to be rushing into a buy, but I will be considering a further sell. But like I said, I will only sell if price goes below this, my structure right here. But if it goes above it, fine, you can actually buy from that point. So for Euro NZD, keep your eye on it. And once the structure is broken, enter a sell and milk your profit all the way to the verified support. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for the taking. All right. So I hope you got that. I hope you got that. Now let's also take a look at one of my favorite instruments, one of my favorite instruments that I know you would also like, and that is Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Euro JPY is one instrument that you don't want to miss out. It's one instrument that you don't want to miss out. And I just go on my, okay, great. Euro JPY currently is giving me, of course, it's giving me more of a sell vibe. All right, it's giving me more of a sell vibe. So as at yesterday, my money management and PIP calculator indicator actually showed me a buy, and of course it didn't get my TP from this particular region, but because of what is happening today, like I said, I'm going to be favoring more of a sell on this particular instrument rather than a buy. All right, so I'm going to be favoring more of a sell rather than a buy. With what you can see on my screen, all right, I am actually going to be selling my Euro JPY. I'm going to be selling it at where it is currently. So where it is actually a perfect point for any sell. All right, where it is right now is a perfect point for any sell. And if I'm going to be taking a sell from this region all the way from here, so from this point is actually my sell entry, and I'm taking it all the way down to the verified resistance or support right here. Taking it all the way to the verified support right here. Okay. And of course, how much am I going to be making on this? On my stop loss value. Okay. And here I'm advised to use 0.04 on this particular trade because of my account size. And of course, I'm also going to be what I'm going to be making is about 12,108 naira. And if it hit my stop loss, it's going to be at around 5,000 naira, which is a good money management strategy. But generally on this instrument, I'm going in for a sell. All right, I'm going in for a sell at this region, and I'm taking my profit all the way to this particular verified support. All right, to this verified support, it's where I'm going to be stopping my trade. All right, so my stop loss is going to be just at up above here. Stop loss is going to be at 149.457. 149.457. But my take profit is going to be at 148.202. 148.202. 148.202. So we're going in for a sell on Euro JPY. We're going in for a sell on Euro JPY. Now, of course, I already told you because of this particular resistance, it just bounced off on. But let's take a look at it with one of my favorite indicators right here. All right, great. Using IPM indicator to check it, you already see the sell reversal, and of course, you've seen the sell confirmation. The moving average just turned into red, so I am going in for a sell. So excuse me, I'm going in for a sell, and I'm taking my profit all the way to the verified support down here. All right, you probably might be asking me, what about this Tonko support? I feel today's market most likely is going to go below it. But if you want to use this Tonko support, then let that be your take profit number one. But then our profit target is at 148.137, or just a little bit above that. So this is actually my projection for today for Euro JPY. I am going in for a sell. I'm going in for a sell on Euro JPY. Is there any fundamental coming out from JPY? Absolutely no. There is no any fundamental from the JPY. But of course, like you said, the European economy is actually on public holiday today. So the volatility might not be that much. There might, of course, definitely be volatility. Maybe if other news comes out that supports this. But apart from that, I'm looking out for a further sell. So you can go ahead and sell your euro from this point and take it all the way down. All right, take it all the way down. All right, so that is for Euro USD. So we're going in for a sell on Euro JPY. We're going in for a further sell on Euro JPY. Is that okay? Going in for a further sell on Euro JPY. Now let's take a look at also one of my favorite instruments also. Yeah, please. Yes. Okay, so one of my favorite instruments too, which is GBP JPY also, and I'm going to be looking at it on 1 hour time frame also, and the same thing, the same kind of structure that we saw, the same kind of structure that we saw on Euro JPY. Okay, let me just, I'll just take this question before then I'll continue. He said, why is DE30 volatile this morning despite the bank holiday? And I told you that the holiday mostly affect the currency pairs. The holiday actually makes the currency pairs a little bit less volatile. And if that is the case, any other thing that relates to it, stocks, UK stocks, DE30 and the rest are going to be having an upward surge. Do you understand? That is actually what I mentioned earlier before we started. And I also said that when I reviewed UK 100, I told you can enter. I think the price was even somewhere around it. So anybody that has actually taken up this UK 100 should have made some really good profit. And I actually mentioned that when I reviewed this particular instrument. So that is why you're having it on the upward surge. All right. So let's continue with the USD JPY. Sorry, GBP JPY. GBP JPY is where we're looking at right now. And GBP JPY just also rebounds from this particular verified resistance. So the question is that, is it going to break below this Tonko support, or is it going to continue with the buy? Is it going to break below the Tonko support, or is it going to continue with the buy? But now take a look at it on a wider scale. You'll see that there is a double top formation just on this particular instrument. Let's use IPM indicator for us to actually appreciate the beauty even more. Now look at the structure that's just been built here. Double top formation. All right, you can see this double top clearly at this point. Do you understand? So we're expecting this particular instrument to have a further bearish move. All right, a further bearish move. Now the bearish move might not be a very long one. You might not really be expecting it to be a very long one, but at least you're expecting this particular instrument to have kind of a sell momentum this morning. All right, we're expecting it to have a little bit of a sell momentum this morning. And if you're even looking at our currency index to see the strength of any of these particular instruments, we can just go to, let's just take a look at JPY. Today, generally, JPY is actually very, very strong. All right, JPY, even on a daily time frame, is strong. But let's take a look at it on 1 hour time frame. You can see that JPY is doing very, very better than other instruments. Okay, JPY is actually looking at for a further buy. And the general overview of the GBP is that GBP is going to end up today maybe a little bit of a bearish momentum. But then for JPY, I'm looking at JPY at least gaining a little bit of strength as time goes on. All right. So that actually brings us back to this particular instrument. So what are we going to be doing on it? I am going to be going in for a further sell on GBP JPY. Yes, I will be going in for a further sell on GBP JPY. I know every other thing is actually suggesting that you might buy, but I'm going in for a further sell. And my take profit for the sell is not really going to, like I said, it will not be a very long one. So I'm just going to be taking my profit at 170.768. All right, 170.768. All right. So this is actually what I'm considering taking up my trade on. And of course, you can set up your stop loss around, of course, maybe above the verified support. All right, just to be on the safe side, you can set up a stop loss at 172.266. 172.266. Now, I would have actually said that you put it just a little bit below, but since it's just a verified support right here, I will be taking it. And if you don't mind, all this particular trade is still going to go down. So for GBP JPY, I'm going in for a further sell. All right, I'm going in for a further sell on GBP JPY. So for Euro JPY, I'm going in for a further sell too, and for GBP JPY, I'm going in for a further sell this morning. And I already told you the reason why I am doing that. All right, but just to be on the safe side, you can actually set up your stop loss just above the verified resistance. You can set up your stop loss just above the verified resistance. And by the way, this particular trade is still on an uptrend. All right, it's still on an uptrend. It is still on an uptrend. Yes, it is still on an uptrend. Okay, don't mind me. That was just in a lighter mode. All right, so this particular instrument for today, I am going in for a sell. All right, I am going in for a sell on GBP JPY. All right, so let's just take USD JPY, and then since there is a fundamental now, why I'm taking the US pairs a little bit later today later is because there is going to be a fundamental coming up on this instrument. So I need it to be I need it to be maybe the last thing we'll consider. So let's take a look at CAD, and then we'll take a look at oil, then we'll enter other US pairs. All right, we'll enter other US pairs. So let's take a look at CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD. And of course, you know the reason we're going to be looking at USD CAD together with oil. And of course, you know the reason. USD CAD together with oil. We're going to be taking those two instruments together, USD CAD and oil. We're going to be taking it together. Then we'll now consider other instruments. Okay, for today, USD CAD has actually been doing the most. And of course, you already know the story behind this particular instrument. US dollars has not been doing perfectly well, yes, over the period of time. And of course, CAD also has not been doing very well because oil hasn't been at its best. But comparing the strength between US dollars and CAD, which do you think it's actually better right now? Which do you think is actually better right now? I feel, okay, now let's take a look at oil too. I told you that we're going to be looking at both of them together. Look at this particular oil now. Oil is just bouncing off from a proven resistance. All right, oil is bouncing off from a proven resistance. Do you understand? Oil is bouncing off from a proven resistance. Now let's check dollar index. Just join me. Just calmly follow up. Dollar index also is also bouncing off from a proven resistance. So oil is bouncing off from a proven resistance. Dollar index is bouncing off from a proven resistance. I already know what this is. Anytime that you have this kind of setting, you expect at least a bearish reversal. You expect a bearish reversal. I actually drew this line, I think some 2 days ago to show me the trend, and it has gotten to this particular point, and I expect, so I think this one is done for, it has done the job. So I expect a reversal, a bearish momentum on this particular dollar index. Generally speaking, using, of course, just the technical aspect of it, not minding the fundamentals. So for today, this morning, we're going to be looking at a sell on dollar index. Do you understand? We're going to be looking at a sell on dollar index. For this whole region is going to be our sell channel. All right, this whole region is going to be our sell channel. So from where the price is till the proven resistance, you can actually sell your dollar index from there, and you can take your profit on this particular weak resistance, weak support. So for dollar index, for those of us that trade on dollar index, now I actually had to go to dollar index to take a look at how dollar index is reacting. Then before we now go back to CAD and then wrap it up with oil. All right, so dollar index currently is on a very premium point. All right, it's actually on a premium price where you can actually decide to sell. Why I would not advise a buy, because you don't know whether the buy is really going to hit this particular province of resistance or not. So I would not advise a buy on this instrument. So rather, I'm going to be going in for a further sell on this point. So from where the price is, you can decide to sell now or allow it to push up a little bit before selling. But in either case, dollar index is going to be on a sell before the 1:30 news. So make sure that you take your profit before 1:30. Is that well understood? Make sure you take your profit before 1:30 p.m. because there is a fundamental news coming up by that time. There is a fundamental news coming up by that time. So you can actually sell dollar all the way down, all right, and take your profit at price 102.645. 102.645. 102.645 is actually going to be where I'll be taking in my profits. All right, that was where I'll be taking my profit. So all this point is my sell region. So I'm going to be selling all this region all the way down. So I'm selling from here all the way down. If you want to set up your stop loss, then let it be above the verified resistance. If you're setting up a stop loss, let it be above the verified resistance, which is somewhere around 103.061. And using, of course, a proper risk management, of course, you already know that this is actually a very a secured kind of trade. Like the risk management is okay. Their profits, what you're taking is smaller than how much you're going to be making from the trade. So take profit is 102.645 and stop loss is 103.061. So for dollar index, we are selling dollar index this morning. We're selling dollar index this morning. And I said there is a fundamental news coming up by 1:30. So by that 1:30, make sure you exit your trade. All right. Now, that brings us back to USD CAD. If dollar index currently is actually going to be more of a sell this morning, then what actually happens to Canadian dollar? What actually happens to Canadian dollar? Now, because oil also is on a ranging state, all right, is actually on a at this point is also bouncing off from a proven resistance. So because on this particular instrument, I'm going in for an instant sell on oil. So if that is the case, USD CAD, I am actually expecting, sorry, yeah, USD CAD, I'm expecting a further buy. Now you'll be asking me, so how come dollar index you said sell, and then USD CAD we're going to be buying? Now, this is the reason. This is my reason for doing that. The fact that dollar now is this one is now going to be weak against the weak. The weaker instrument is now going to be the one that's going to be weak in this particular situation. So when you have two weak instruments or two instruments that are technically weak, do you understand? They are technically on the sell trend. And if you want to pair both of them together, you're going to be considering which of them is going to be weaker. Now, is there any fundamental news that came out from Canadian region today? I think there is. Okay, it was AUD. All right. Canadian economy, it was okay. There is no any major news coming out from CAD. Okay, yeah. 4 p.m. Yes, I remember 4 p.m. We have a Bank of Canadian governor actually is going to be having a speech by 4 p.m. All right. So by that 4 p.m., that is where you're going to be seeing a fundamental news on CAD. So but for now, on this particular instrument, I'm going to be favoring dollar. But does it mean I'm going to be entering an instant buy on dollar? I think it is better to consider what happened at this point. Do you see what happened at this point? All right. Do you see what happened at this point? Yes, I would not advise you just jump into a buy from here. All right. So what I'm going to advise is that let your buy be above here. Do you understand? Let your buy be above this particular region. So I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to mark that. So in here should be, once the price can comfortably break above this box, once it can comfortably break above the box, then buy all the way up. The reason I'm doing this is because of the consolidation that have actually happened in this region. All right, we already know that dollar is weak. And of course, Canadian economy is a little bit weak also. So, but I am going in for a further buy. But before I enter the buy, I will allow the price to comfortably go above this region. And if I'm going to be going for a sell, then also this region. So this is just a perfect position for anybody that will actually take up a buy or a sell. So if you want to buy, let it go above this point, not the first one, but the second one, the box here, the box in here, which is at price 1.34976. But if you want to sell, let it be from this point all the way down. But in any case, I am going in for a further buy on USD CAD. I'm going in for a further buy on USD CAD. But I said, don't just jump into the trade immediately. Hold on for price confirmation before you jump in. Do you understand? And that now brings us to oil. I said I'm going to be selling oil at where the market is, and I'm taking my profit right at this point. All right, I am selling oil at the current market price, and I'm taking my profit at price 75.79, 75.79. That is where I am taking in my that is where my take profit is going to be. So for oil, I'm going in for a sell. I'm going in for a sell on oil, and I'm taking my profit just at 75.79. Let's take a look at it with IPM, just a little bit of a confirmation. And of course, we've already seen a proven resistance and a Harami formation here. And at this point, of course, a further sell is advised, even though they've not been a perfect confirmation on IPM, but I am actually going in for a further sell on oil. All right, if you want to hold on, if you use this particular indicator and you want to hold on for a further sell, now look at the moving average is already above the price. All right, our moving average is already above the price. So I am going in for a further sell on oil, and my take profit is going to be just at this turncoat support right here. So for oil, we are selling oil this morning. We're selling oil this morning. Okay, let's just take maybe some dollar in or pairs, just like I said. Then we'll now consider maybe one or two of the other instruments. All right, then we can now call it a day. But I hope you've actually been getting something. And like I said, USD CAD, I am going in for a buy. All right, but then before I enter the buy, okay, now there's just been a dark cloud formation around here, but don't jump into the sell. Trust me, don't jump into the sell until price has gotten to price 1.34612 for USD CAD, 1.34612 before you sell anything. Let price get there. But for the buy, let it go above this region before you enter a buy for that, for this particular instrument. All right, so let's just take a look at GBP USD, GBP USD, GBP USD. Now, with what is actually currently going on in the market, I'm going in for a further buy on GBP USD. I'm going in for a further buy on GBP USD, and my take profit is going to be at this verified resistance. All right, we should have actually checked this particular instrument all along. If I checked it on time, I think we should have been able to take advantage of this move. But that being said, we're going in for a further buy on GBP USD, and our take profit is going to be at this verified resistance. And please, once price gets to the verified resistance, you can start selling from that point. All right, you can start selling from that point. But for today, I'm going in for, okay, I think I'm actually on the wrong time frame. So let me go to 1 hour time frame. All right, let me go to 1 hour time frame. I was wondering what is going on here. Okay. Okay. Did I say a buy on GBP USD, right? I said a buy, Abby. On 1 hour time frame, actually, the buy is not really very much feasible. All right. A buy is really not very much feasible. So I would prefer you don't buy this particular instrument. Do you understand? Because the buy is not going to go for a very long time. So rather, I will actually appreciate if all this region turns into your sell region. All right. If all these places turn into your sell region. So if price gets anywhere around here, just keep selling. Now, they actually told you about trade stacking of trade yesterday, right? I know the person that actually took the class actually talked about trade stacking. So that's the same thing is applied to this case. So as the price is actually going up, you can actually keep on stacking your trade. And then this is where your take profit is going to be, all right, at this point. So you're bringing it all the way down, all right? So if it pushes up, you can enter a sell. If it goes a little bit higher, you can enter a sell. But if you want to put up a stop loss, let it be above the weak resistance. But then all this region is your sell region. Do you understand? There are some times that you know that this particular trade is a sell trade, but the market keeps on pushing up a little bit. Now, just to have what we call a liquidity trap. All right, and or maybe fake out, as some persons might know it. All right, once that is done, you discover that it starts falling. So as at the time that the market is going to be doing that, what are you going to be doing? Are you just going to fold your hands and allow the market to go, even though you're on a trade? No. What you can do is that do trade stacking, but before you do that trade stacking, please make sure that you have a good volume in your account. All right, that is, if it goes up, I'm entering a sell because I already know that the trend is a sell trend. And it goes up a little bit again, I'll enter a sell. And it goes up again, I'll enter a sell. Now, what is my end product in doing all that? It's so that as the trade starts falling, my profit is also buckling. All right, so that being said, I am going in for a sell on GBP, sorry, on USD, GBP USD. Yes, but the sell is going to just end at this point. Remember, it's not going to be a very long one. Don't stay for a very long time because it is a fundamental that is coming out. A fundamental is going to be coming out by 1:30 p.m. So on this particular trade, looking at it technically, we're going to be going in for a sell. Now, let's take a look at, is there any fundamental coming out from GBP also? Oh, okay, yes, there's a fundamental, but is a medium impact news by 10:15. But a lot of projections are saying that this particular news is going to be coming out pretty negative for GBP. Now, they are saying that mostly they are not going to be increasing their interest rates, not at this point. Do you understand? So with that in mind, know that GBP is going to be having a further sell. And if that is the case, GBP USD is going to be selling at this from this here all the way down. Do you understand? So GBP USD, we are selling. We are selling. Okay. Okay, so now let's consider. Okay, let's look at gold a little bit. Let's just look at gold. Let's just look at gold. Let's look at gold. Now, gold currently is on a proven proven support. Now, for a very long time, gold has not been able to break below this particular region. Look at all the way from this point, as long as we can remember. Do you understand? Gold has been at this point. So with this in mind, with this kind of information, what are you going to do about gold? We don't even need a lot of preaching on this particular instrument. What are you going to do about gold? So from where gold is, I will advise you just start buying from where gold is. And where is going to be your take profit on gold at this point? Turncoat resistance. So it's going to be a very volatile or a buying day for gold. Now, because of technically looking at it, you already know what you're going to do. Look at this point. In fact, even some time back, like only since 18th of April, 18th of April, gold has not gone below this particular point since 18th of April. So it's been a long time coming. 18th of April, and today is what? Today is 17th of, oh, sorry, 18th of May also. So about a month ago, gold got to that point. Until now, gold has not been able to break above that region. Do you understand? Gold has not been able to break above that region. So today, we are also going to be respecting the hero of the day, which is the support, and that support right there. That support right there. If there's any other thing you can call after a proven support, if there's any other stronger name to use it, okay, we can say a hero support. But at this point, I would advise anybody that wants to make money on gold for today, you can just buy gold from where it is. Buy gold, just keep buying gold and keep on pushing up. Because from where, well, now look at anytime gold got to that point, you always see a good reversal. Do you see? Do you understand? Look at how it's been. Look at how it's been. Look at how it has been. So anytime you see gold, you see this particular trend. Do you understand? So you can always take a look at this and then keep on buying. If you have actually entered a buy, as at the time I mentioned that, you should have been on a very good profit on this particular instrument called gold. All right. Should have been on this particular instrument called gold. Do you understand? And congratulations to as many that are going to be making money from gold. And when you do, please just hit me up and let me know. But on this particular instrument today, we are buying. We are buying. All right. We are buying gold. We're buying gold for today. All right. I've looked at oil and I told you that I'm selling oil. I've also looked at Canadian dollar. I told you that I will only sell Canadian dollar if it goes below here, or buy it if it goes above here. And that is on a. I also looked at GBP USD and I said all these points we are selling. All right, we're selling GBP USD from this region. And then I told you about stacking this particular trade if you want, and then bringing it all the way down. We also reviewed Euro JPY, and I told you that we're selling all these points and then we're taking our profit at this region. All right, and we also looked at GBP JPY, and I told you that we're selling all the way down. All right, I told you that we're selling all the way down. I think we also looked at we didn't take a look at USD JPY. Maybe we also looked at, okay, we didn't also take consider Euro USD. Okay, fine. There's just we've looked at gold and we've looked at oil. Maybe just one more currency pairs and then we can call it a day. All right, now the trend on Euro USD is already static. All right, and I told you that Euro USD today might not really be as volatile as you may want. And because of that no volatility, most traders might not really want to just take up a sell on Euro, take up a buy on Euro USD. So I would suggest if you want to trade anything about Euro USD, please, it's better you just take up a sell on Euro USD. Favor more of dollar. All right, favor more of dollar for today. So you can decide to go on instant sell and then just take your profit at this point. Already know that dollar is not as strong as you feel, but because of today that there is a bank holiday from the euro, it might actually affect the liquidity from the market. All right, it is being affected by the volatility. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going in for a sell on euro and I'm taking my profit at price 1.08125. It's a small one, yes, but then it is worth it. If you want to consider any other further sell, let it go below this particular untested support before you sell again. Let it go below the untested support before you sell again. Now, finally for today, I'm going to be considering one major instrument. Okay, for USD stock, for US indices. So I'm just going to be taking one trade from US indices, and also from agro commodity. Then we'll call it a day. I think we've actually reviewed more than 10 instruments already, have we? We have reviewed more than 10 instruments, but it is fine. It is fine. It's for your own advantage. So any of them that you can take from there, and then let the other ones go. All right. So US 2000 is actually at a very prime point. All right. US 2000 is at a very prime point. All right. I know this particular instrument has a lot of weight. So I will advise a further sell on this particular instrument, but not at the current market price. All right. You don't need to sell at the current market price because it's actually going to get to this particular verified resistance. So if you're kind of a risk lover, then you can enter a sell. Sorry, you can enter a buy from where the market is to the verified resistance if you're a risk lover. But if you're not, please allow the market to push up and then enter sell all the way down. Does it make any sense? If you're a risk lover, you can enter a buy from where the market is, then target that verified resistance. But if you're not, please allow the market to just push up a little bit more, then enter sell all the way down. Do you understand? I hope that is actually clear enough, because for US 2000, we're going to be seeing it crashing down soon. All right, we're going to see it crashing down soon. But of course, the sell is not going to be a very long one. Look at the formation over time. Let me just zoom out. Do you see? The same thing that actually happened to gold. It has not been able to break above here, but then they've just been a little bit of fake outs. Do you understand? So I feel that this particular trade is also going to be having that kind of fake out. So if you want to take advantage of it, enter instant buy, just a few pips profit. Then if you have a good lot size, use a good lot size, take up the buy, make some small profit, and then go out of the trade. Because I know that this particular market is going to push higher than it is already. It's going to push higher than it is currently. So when it does, take advantage of that. But the general trend for this particular instrument for today is a sell. Please, when it goes up, please sell from there. All right, sell from there. Consider more of a sell on this particular instrument. And then finally, my brethren, let's take a look at corn for today. Now, corn has actually been doing the doings. All right, corn has been on a very premium sell. All right, it has been on a very premium sell. But for today, we're going to be having a little bit of a buy. Okay, we're going to be having a little bit of a buy on corn. All right, now take a look at this. It has actually bounced off from this point. So we're going to be having a little bit of a buy on corn. All right, just to cover up this gap. Do you understand? So if you're buying on now, the general trend of corn is downtrend. Don't forget that the general trend of corn is a downtrend, but this buy is just to cover up the gap that actually happened today. So it is actually going to be buying a little bit to 564.235. 564.35 is going to be buying to that point. So when it does, from that region, you can sell. Now let's take a look at it from ADX. I said that ADX is actually one instrument that you can actually use on this, but apart from IPM, of course, you can also use ADX to trade on this particular corn. And I said that you can actually enter a buy on corn, take a profit at price 564.05, 564.05. Then from that point, we are selling. And especially in the afternoon, when this particular instrument opens for the afternoon, you can sell it. Do you understand? Because it's actually on a premium sale. All right, so let me just take some few questions from this point, then from your questions, then we can call it a day. Please, DE30, I'm not actually going to be reviewing DE30 for today, as it wasn't part of what I planned on giving you. And US 100 also, I am not going to be reviewing US 100 because it's not part of what I prepared for you. Okay, all right. Of course, I told you from the beginning, if you actually joined on time, I've actually talked about DE30. If you joined on time, you would have known. I remembered at the beginning, I told you that DE30 is actually going to be behaving exactly the same thing as UK 100. So if you joined on time, you wouldn't even be needing me to review DE30 again, because I already told you what to do about DE30. If you were here from the beginning when I mentioned that, you can confirm that. All right, you can confirm that. I already said DE30 was going to be buying right from the beginning. All right, I mentioned that when I reviewed UK 100. All right. Okay, so somebody said at what price should US 2000 sell once price gets to that particular resistance. So you can actually start selling from, if you have enough money, you can start selling from there and probably practice the stacking pattern I told you about. But if you don't, please just take up a small buy and then continue with a sell once price gets close to the proven resistance, because it might not hit the proven resistance actually, but it might just get very close to it and then start falling from there. All right. So I think, and a link has actually been posted here. You can actually join our Telegram link for further analysis. We actually post further trade hints on those our platforms. So you can actually join our Telegram link that has been posted. It's going to be posted again so that you can take a look at it and join our Telegram group. And congratulations to those of you that actually took some of these trades and the rest of them. All right. And for agro commodities, I already told, okay, thanks for mentioning agro commodity. You're welcome, sir. And also join us for afternoon session of the agro commodity. At least if you've been joining our afternoon trade, you should have at least taken a very good, some good profit on agro commodities over time. And with that in mind, I think we're actually going to be calling it a day, as we've been able to, what is it called? Mention some few things that actually will interest you. All right, we've been able to go through some few things. So if you have any further question or any other concerns or anything that you want to know, you can always reach out to your account manager for those things. And of course, like as I mentioned on corn, wheat also is on a downtrend. So the major direction you should be going in for this particular instrument is should be more of a sell. But for this morning, I'll be going in for a buy for this morning. And I told you the reason, right? I told you the reason. For agro commodities, this early hours of today, please consider a more of a buy. Then later on in the day, please sell. All right, sell with everything you've got. All right, so that would actually bring us. Somebody said, why the 2 p.m. Zoom trade not hold 2 days now? No, it actually held day before yesterday. It was just yesterday that it didn't hold. And I told you the reason. I actually sent a message across to everybody that the reason why it wasn't going to be holding. We had some events that some of the persons officiating the class actually anchored. All right. So that's actually why it didn't hold. But of course, further information is going to be passed across to you on that. So just still with the same link, you can actually have a perfect good should I use the word a perfect trading session. So join us exactly the same time and let's have a good time. All right, to everybody, I think this is actually the fastest MMR we've had over time. I don't know, but I just wanted you to have a glimpse of what is happening in the market and be able to have time to also trade. So see you in the afternoon as you take the afternoon session of this review. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and have a lovely day.